Welcome to this course on eIDAS 2.0, Strategy, Compliance, and Business Impact. In this opening section, we focus on one critical question. Why has eIDAS 2.0 suddenly become a priority for organizations? And why the current status quo is no longer sustainable? You do not need prior knowledge of eIDAS. This section is designed to give you immediate strategic clarity. This introduction is structured in 4 parts. First, we'll look at the digital identity paradox, a system that is connected yet fundamentally broken. Second, we'll examine why the European Union has stepped in as a decisive market maker. Third, we'll identify your organization's role in the new digital identity ecosystem. And finally, we'll look at the 2026 mandates that must shape your 2025 strategy and investment decisions. Today's digital identity landscape is a paradox. It is hyper-connected, yet deeply fragmented. For users, this means repeated onboarding, excessive data sharing, and little real control over personal information. For businesses, acting as relying parties, this translates into high operational costs from manual KYC processes, rising fraud losses measured in billions, and significant customer drop-off during digital onboarding. Despite having a unified economic market, Europe's digital identity environment remains highly fragmented. Identity systems are siloed, non-interoperable, and often limited to national or platform-specific use. This fragmentation locks users into closed ecosystems and creates confusion for organizations operating across borders, particularly when identities, credentials, and legal recognition do not translate cleanly between countries. The European Union has formally declared this situation unsustainable. On February 29, 2024, the European Parliament approved the eIDAS 2.0 regulation, setting the foundation for a new digital trust framework. This decision is driven by 3 core objectives: digital sovereignty, to reduce dependency on non-EU identity platforms; citizen empowerment, by giving individuals control over their data; and economic unification, by removing digital friction across the single market. The cornerstone of this new framework is the European Digital Identity, or EUDI Wallet. The wallet introduces a new layer of public digital infrastructure based on 3 principles: user-centric control, where individuals decide what data to share; pan-European interoperability, so credentials work across all member states; and high-assurance security, comparable to physical identity documents such as passports. To build an effective strategy, organizations must understand their role in the new ecosystem. There are 3 primary roles: wallet providers, who offer the wallet applications; credential issuers, such as governments, banks, or universities; and relying parties, who request and verify credentials. Most organizations listening to this course will fall into the relying party category, meaning you will be required to accept and process data from the EUDI wallet. For relying parties, eIDAS 2.0 is not just a compliance obligation, it is a strategic opportunity. Government-issued, cryptographically verifiable credentials can dramatically reduce onboarding friction, lower fraud risk, and simplify cross-border operations. Organizations that adopt early can scale across the EU digital single market without rebuilding identity systems for each country. As we saw with GDPR, eIDAS 2.0 is likely to create a global ripple effect. Any organization serving EU customers, whether in e-commerce, finance, travel, or digital platforms, will need to interact with the EUDI wallet. Similar identity initiatives are emerging globally, including India's Aadhaar ecosystem and Switzerland's digital identity programs, signaling a broader shift toward government-backed digital trust infrastructure. The transition is already underway. The regulation entered into force in May 2024, and by 2026, EU member states must make EUDI wallets available to citizens. By September 2026, trust service providers must comply with the new framework. This means strategic planning, budgeting, and architectural decisions must happen now, not later. We are currently in a critical formative phase. Technical and operational standards are being finalized by organizations such as ETSI and ENISA, while large-scale pilots involving major players, including technology and payment providers, are already underway. Organizations that engage early can influence standards and ecosystem design. Late adopters will be forced to comply with decisions made by others. To summarize, the current digital identity system is costing organizations money and trust today. eIDAS 2.0 introduces a government-backed mandatory solution. Your role as a relying party is clearly defined, with both obligations and opportunities. And the urgency is driven by a fixed, non-negotiable rollout timeline. The question is no longer if your organization will engage with the EUDI wallet. The real question is how prepared you will be, and how competitive you will remain in the new digital economy it enables.